Hello, hello.
Happy Friday.
Boy, that's quite the reverb tail on that thing. Sounds good.
You like that?
It's like that shimmery dealio, you know what I'm saying? Hello, hello. Happy Friday, everyone. It's been a minute.
Friday.
Kai, Matt, Dylan, Mario, Dave, what's up, everybody?
Yo.
I hope everyone can hear us okay. We have our mics just clipped on our shirts. We usually have straps on, not to be confused with strap-ons. And these, if it sounds funny, just let us know. We'll make some adjustments. But everyone's in. Yo, seriously. Everyone's killing it. Matt says playing sounds beautiful. Thank you, Matt. That's very kind of you. And Mario, good to see you too, dude. It's been a minute, obviously. It's been about a month.
Yes.
We had, what was it, July 4th? So
Yep.
July 4th fell on a Friday, which is probably why people don't do live streams on Fridays. July 4th fell on a Friday, but we're not those people. July 4th fell on a Friday, and then I was out of town, and Joe was out of town, so it just sort of like it was a weird...
summer break.
Yeah, amalgamation of summer break stuff.
Yeah.
I was visiting my in-laws in South Dakota land, you know, rolling out there Buffalo style, which was super cool.
Nice.
We stayed on the Missouri River and had a fun time, which was cool. Thanks for everyone who asked to make sure I was still alive. Kai says everything sounds good. Awesome. Sweet. Thank you, dude.
Thank you, Kai.
Speaking of Kai, you'll probably come up again later. Because
one of these,
you know,
coming your way.
So we'll talk more about these in a minute.
Yep.
But yeah, it's good to be back in. We've been stuck in with the MITCH6s and a couple of other things, which we'll sort of wrap up here before we start talking about sort of this guitar, where it came from, and you know why Cyndi Lauper wanted this as her signature model. But we will get there. Kai's unbelievably stoked for this stream. Yeah, honestly, so are we. I think it's fair to say that this is probably the most, I would say, like modern. Well, we'll get there. I don't want to push it. I don't mean modern in terms of what maybe some people think I mean. And we want to make sure we're on the right track. I'm getting ahead of myself just because I'm so freaking excited to talk about this guitar. So, other things. Bit of housekeeping because it's been about a month. Yeah. We're alive. That's cool.
We are.
We're here in the shop working hard, doing the thing. The DS7s. So that was, I think we snuck in one live stream after we had announced the DS7s, maybe two. They are still available for pre-order. Devin Scheidegger's new signature Diablo. It is insane. I would say it has just the overall premium spec choices. Everything Devin did is just like off the frickin' wall. Insane figuring, a pale moon ebony board, you know, flame maple, pale moon ebony board, his cauterizer, bridge pickup with cauterizer single coil in the neck, which is something that you can only get on that guitar.
Yeah, first time.
Yeah, hip shot Ibby bridge. It's a beast of a guitar, and it sounds so rad. There are still a handful left. It's a super limited run because the spec is so insane that we just wanted it to be something super special, and Devin's done so many just like absolute sledgehammers of guitars in the past with the Tartarus and the Typhon and everything that he's done. This is sort of his like do whatever the hell you want. No one's going to tell you no guitar. Although we may have tried, and Joe may have tried once or twice. Devin is a very, the man wants what the man wants. You know what I'm saying?
No, everything's been kind of on menu stuff. I think the only thing that made us really limit the run is we're using thick flame maple tops because they're carved top guitars. So in order to keep the run at a reasonable price for the type of guitar that it is, because it does have other premium specs, like Jake said, like 5-piece roasted flame maple walnut necks.
Yep.
You know, all the other stuff you know us for, stainless steel frets, hip shot locking tuners.
Yes, hip shot locking tuners like on the USA series stuff that we did.
Hip shot Ibby bridge. You know, custom finish, something that you can't get anywhere else right now through us besides that guitar.
Burst.
Yeah, and comes with a hardshell case.
Oh yeah, hardshell case.
And yeah, like Jake said, we have a handful of spots left, and you only need to throw down a deposit to secure your spot. So go check it out. Yeah,
if you're into, we've done a couple of, which we'll get into this in a second too, but we've done a couple of Diablo 7 baritone. Oh, it's a 7-string. We've done a couple of Diablo 7-string select runs over the years. This is sort of like, because Devin picked up one of those guitars and gigged it, had it at home, and that was sort of his next step. And this guitar is like, if you did everything to it, that's this. So
For
it's
sure.
very cool. It's like an elevated Diablo. You know, like you said, it's not like there's anything off the menu really, but everything is just top tier.
Yeah.
It's very cool. So check them out. Pre-order stuff. All the pre-order stuff's on our website. Everyone here knows where to find it, but BalaguerGuitars.com. You can see it all in the pre-order section.
Yep.
We have all the spec listed, descriptions, photos, all that cool stuff.
Yep.
But DS7, check it out. Something else on the front end of these being around. I don't know why I'm apologizing to the microphone. I think I was trying to apologize to y'all for bumping that thing. And we have the Growler standard baritone, the Espada standard AB, the Antique Burst Espada, the Seraph ET, the Seraph Evertune with Seymour Duncan pickups.
Yeah.
And which is super sick, they're the Rail Sentient Nazgul set. Gonna be so sick.
For sure.
And another Diablo 7 baritone.
Yep.
This one, not a carved top. This is the bevel top. Gonna be so slick. And all of that stuff is due to arrive next week. So we'll be doing final QC and setup on all of those.
Mm-hmm.
These are gonna the MITCH6s, which we'll get to in a second, are gonna start shipping out. And then we're gonna get on those. So if you ordered those will be on their way shortly.
Yep.
Those also, I think the Growler standard is sold out. I think that might be the only one that's totally sold out. The other ones have like a bit of a wait list. So if you want them, be sure to reach out to us if they're not available for pre-order on the website.
Yeah.
Because there aren't many left of any of these.
Yeah, most of them should be orderable on the website besides the Growler baritone. But like Jake said, just hit us up via email if it looks like they're out of stock.
Yes,
so.
And if you've been waiting on those patiently, maybe even romantically, they will be here soon.
Yes,
we're stoked for them. They rip, and
thank you for the patience.
You will enjoy them as much as we do.
Yes.
And then other things that are coming in. Some good questions. I will get to your questions actually now before we jump into the MITCH6 because I know I'm not going to be able to peel myself off this guitar. Dave says, any plans to offer single coils on multi-scale builds?
Yeah. So there's kind of a list of specs that are both, like this feature requests, pickup requests that we have internally, and that is one of the kind of like leading spec requests is not just more multi-scale pickup offerings, but pick guards for multi-scale guitars and a few other things. So yes, that is definitely coming. It's just a matter of when we decide to release that stuff, and it could be before the end of the year. It could be sooner than that. It just
wink, wink.
Depends. We have a lot planned. We have a lot planned from now until the end of the year.
Yes.
And I'm excited to unveil all that, but there's a list of things for sure.
A very, very long list.
Yes.
But they're all sick. Good question though. So yes, specifically some of those accoutrements around multi-scale builds that are not in the builder, keep an eye out for those. Good question. Can you describe how your stock 5-way switch plus push-pull config works? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So if you do a 5-way switch, the way that we wire it by default, you can request it however you want if you order a select custom. But the way that if you order a 5-way switch without a middle single coil, I'm assuming is what you mean. So with two humbuckers, starting with position 1, which is the bridge, it's full humbucker. Then position 2 is the outer coils. Position 3 is both humbuckers, full humbucking. Position 4 is inner coils. Position 2 is inner coils, and position 4 is inner coils, and then position 5 is the neck pickup. So it's basically I would say sort of the default wiring for a dual humbucker 5-way switch. And then if you have a push-pull as well, it will split both humbuckers. So because of the way...
Good job, Jake.
Thank you. Because of the way that we have it wired, there is no independent split position if you by default with a 5-way and 2 humbuckers. So popping the tone knob will just split both humbuckers at the same time, just like it does on a regular 3-way switch. It's the same thing. You just get the added combinations of anything else.
Yep.
So there you go. I was ready for that one. I only mixed up the numbers once because as people, I think in the human consciousness, people want the neck position to be position 1. So you talk to a lot of people will call the neck position position 1, but it's not. It's position 5. Position 1 is the bridge position. It is documented.
That's interesting.
Them's the rules.
Yeah.
According to Leo Fender from back in whenever they first did a 5-way switch.
Yeah.
If you do a single coil in the middle, the only difference in any of that wiring is if you do a single coil in the middle, positions 1 and 5 are still the same, full humbuckers on both ends, and your push-pull will still split those just like it would on a normal guitar. The difference is the middle position is the single coil instead of both humbuckers.
Yep.
And then if you do the in-between positions, it's the single coil plus the split neck or bridge.
Right.
So that's how we wire it by default. If you've got some wacky stuff, you want parallel wiring in there or like defeats or different sort of orders and stuff, you can do all that in the Select Custom Builder.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be a custom wiring option, which we have in there. It's like $40 because of the extra time that it takes for us to wire it differently from everything else. And yeah, pretty rad. Good question.
Yep.
And that's a question that a lot of people ask, actually, but that is the default 5-way. Actually, I'm interested in, in HSH. Okay, my bad. I'm glad I hit it, though. So yeah, HSH is starting from position 1 in the bridge, full bridge humbucker. Position 2 is the middle single coil and the inner coil of the bridge. Position 3 is the middle single coil. Position 4 is the inner coil of the neck and the middle single coil. And position 5 is the neck humbucker.
I think it's also worth saying that if you choose the custom wiring option and that if that configuration doesn't match with what you want, we can do a non-traditional 5-way, like a super switch that has 24 lugs.
Yeah.
As long as you supply us with a wiring diagram, or you say, I want it to be like this guitar, we can accommodate.
Yeah. And we, for the record, the reason we ask for a wiring diagram, because I had one person be like, what, you don't know how to wire them? I'm like, no, it's not because we don't know how. It's because if you tell us you want one thing and we wire what you don't want because there was no diagram, or maybe you were calling something else, or there was a misunderstanding.
It defeats confusion.
Yeah.
It defeats confusion, and it also allows us to give you an answer if something's possible or not. Because sometimes an email will say, I want this, and this, but after reading it, it's like, well, that's not possible because of how our humbuckers are wired with the polarity of the poles and things like that. So yeah, that's a diagram is also just helpful anyway.
It is, yes. And almost all of that stuff is available, and we can even help you try and find one.
Yeah.
We just have to have one.
Or draw you one, whatever.
Yeah, it just helps. Good question, though. Yo, Haziel, what's up? Hey, my dude.
What's up, dude?
Good to hear from you. Howdy, been a minute. Yo, Matt, what's up? Matt D. It has been a minute.
What's up, Matt?
We were talking via text earlier this week, but yeah, it has been a minute. Good to hang, good to jam, good to see everyone. And thanks for dropping in, dude. We're going to be talking very soon because of all the things that are coming in. So stay in touch. Everyone bug Matt D about stocking up on all the Balaguer guitars ever. Yeah, you bet, dude. Kai says, wire the bridge pickup straight to the jack, caveman style.
Yes.
I like where your brain's at, but my heart's not in it. It's definitely...
Well, we've done that, though.
We have done that, yes. We have done it. We've also done it where there's no knobs and only an on-off switch.
Yep.
Like a toggle switch for a single bridge pickup where it's just on-off.
Yeah.
That's a thing. Yeah, I know we can do all of that. All you have to do is ask.
We can.
We may not be happy about it.
No.
We may tease you behind your back, but we'll do it. Just kidding. We love you all. Dave, are piezo bridges, Fishman Power Bridge or Graphtec Ghost available?
Not right now.
No, not right now. We've talked about it. It's something that gets requested like once a year. It's not a very common request. And it adds extra routing in the body and the bridge construction and the routing for the bridge itself, not just like the wire routing. It's just a lot, and it's such an uncommon option that we're just careful with that right now. So not an option yet.
If we had more requests for it, I think we would think a bit more seriously into calibrating everything we need to, from our files to stocking, that type of stuff.
Yes.
To do that. But like Jake said, over the last 10 years, we've probably got like 2 or 3 emails about it.
Yeah. It's not super frequent, but that does answer the question. I think I asked this in an email, but on guitars like the Toro, you can swap the blade switch for a toggle switch, correct? Yes. Any guitar that has a toggle, you can put a blade on it and vice versa. Personally, almost all of my Select Customs have toggle switches instead of blades because I like them. By default, it typically gets put on the upper horn or the lower horn if it's an X-shaped guitar. Oh, I shouldn't do that. On the lower horn if it's an X-shaped guitar. But like me, I like it here, basically replacing the volume knob. We can do all of that stuff, whatever you guys want. And that's fun. I like those builds because I feel like the ergonomic setup of everything is always such a personal thing. It's fun to see what people like and what goes down.
For sure.
Dave says, I have some crazy wiring diagrams with the devil face. Keep them to yourself, Dave. No, that's cool. Nice. We're nerds about stuff like that, so we're always happy to see what people do.
For sure.
Haziel says, so swirl finishes.
Yes. I've been kind of stoking the fire, or, poking the bear, or whatever other analogy you want to throw out there.
Like it.
I love swirl finishes personally.
Me too.
And I would love to get to the point where we can start offering those across the board. Mm-hmm. Not going to say just yet what that means, but, if y'all like that type of thing, drop a comment or shoot us an email or let us know in some way that you like that, or don't.
Yes,
we'll be
there. Trust me, we're with you. The thing, swirl finishes are tough, and we want to do them. We just want to make sure we do it right.
Yes.
Tim, what's up? Tim C. I'm assuming
what's up,
the
Tim?
Tim that we know.
Yeah.
2 requests: bring back Enigma guitar and Gaia. You would request that.
Yes.
I don't blame you. Tim has you have one of the sickest Enigmas we've ever built.
Yeah, the Rosewood one.
Yeah.
If it's the Tim I'm thinking of.
If you're that Tim, then yes. We'd love to. We'd do it just for you. We kind of did do it just for you that one time. I ask about the switch because the builder tool doesn't show that choice. Yeah. It's not something we put because if every guitar had an option of blade versus toggle, we'd have to have it in every different location for every different model.
Yeah.
And it just becomes a little overbearing. So yes, feel free to ask us. That's definitely an off the menu thing we can do.
For sure.
Lower horn, Dave says, thanks. Did the colored Evertune faceplates ever come to fruition? Kai would like to know.
No, because only because, so maybe let me backtrack for a second. Are you referring to the photo that I posted of the 3D printed multi-scale Evertune? The one that was made out of red filament. That was just to prototype the actual file that I designed alongside Evertune.
I think we talked about plating.
Plating, different colors. Gotcha. So Evertune did not respond to that directly because I think back then they were already planning to start machining the multi-scale version of their bridge in the future. And now, as everyone can see, or maybe if you don't know, Evertune started machining their own multi-scale bridges. Yeah. So we are no longer machining them in South Korea or the US. They are doing it, which is great because I'd much rather the company that developed those bridges take on that responsibility anyway. Yeah. Because it was a lot of extra cost for us to do the plating, do the machining, everything. So
it was sick, but
it's completely up to Evertune at this point what they offer as far as finishes are concerned.
Yes. So we shall see. But yes, they did make them available as OEM. So if you do want one or anything, you can also reach out to them. I don't know if they're doing installs in-house for it yet.
I don't know about installs, but you can buy a multi-scale Evertune from their website as a consumer.
Right.
So
for sure.
Yep.
Love swirl since Passion and Warfare, Dave said. Yep.
Yes.
Had to give that comment a shout out because that was also my first, and I still think the swirl gems, both that one and the anniversary ones that they did, are like some of the sickest looking guitars ever made.
Oh, I agree.
They're so rad.
All those bright colors. Yeah.
Oh, it's so cool. Matt says, I'm ready to see that Quantum Sparkle finish. I bet you are. It's
That's right. It's coming.
It's coming. It's sick. And they're going to be super rad, especially with Dylan in the chat. Yeah. Dylan even was sure to drop. He has some Quantum Sparkle photos of his build in the BGFBDG.
Oh wait, hold on.
No,
I was on clean.
Yes, been waiting for it.
That would have been very underwhelming if it was just like an ambient chug.
An ambient chug. That's what we should start doing. We should start a band called Ambient Chug.
Anytime Jake says the BGFBDG, we have to do some kind of like tone. I don't know, or chug or squeal or
I don't even know
how that started, but
it's been going on since we started the live stream though.
It stands for the Balaguer Guitars Facebook discussion group. If you're not a part of that, come hang out. Yeah. There's about 3,000 people in there and it's super fun.
Yeah, we do have the Balaguer Facebook discussion group, the BGFBDG. Ooh, all right. Mix it up a little bit. Gotta wait for them reverb tails to die. It's a sick place in a good way. Like Joe said, we have it's a couple thousand people, fans of the brand, and we talk spec. We talk upcoming things with Balaguer. People share their select customs. If you're not a member of the Facebook discussion group, you should join. It's cool.
Balaguer artists are in there as well.
Yeah, artists hop around and chat, and then we've also got the Instagram, which I'm sure everyone here probably follows, which is super cool. We just post sick photos of our guitars, so that's a fun one too. But yeah, good stuff. Definitely check it out because Dylan's build is sick. Kai says next custom finish is going to be a Swirl Sparkle Color Shift Relic.
Woo.
Yeah, thanks, Kai. Appreciate that. Tim says it's me, LOL. So it is that, Tim.
What's up, dude?
Okay. I don't like to assume,
good buddy, Tim.
We basically did anyway.
Yeah.
Dylan says, oh yeah, photos. Does this mean the price will come down for multi-scale Evertunes starting a band called Ambient Chug? So no, because while it is less expensive for them to do it, it's not that much less expensive for us to buy it. No. Because while it's less expensive for them to make it, they then have to profit on it. So it actually ends up being about the same cost.
It's kind of a wash.
It's very close.
Unfortunately. I think over time, maybe that'll lessen.
Yeah.
Not just with them machining more of them and maybe potentially their margins changing on them.
Yeah.
But, who knows what'll happen with tariffs and everything. So here's hoping that they will eventually become more affordable.
Yeah.
But it is a premium piece of kit.
Yeah,
so
it's wild.
It's, there isn't anything else like it on the planet.
No. And when we say we save, it's less expensive for us, it's not necessarily the product itself. It's the time that it takes for us to, it took for us to prototype it. We have to place the orders. We have to source everything versus now we just buy it and it's sent to us. Yeah. So most of the savings comes from the legwork of like actually building the bridges,
the administrative part of it for sure.
Billy says, ever do Sophia tremolos?
I have heard of them.
They're sick.
I have never tried them in person, but I've heard good things. So open to learning more about it if you.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to make a note because I would be cool with that. So, with all of that being said, because those were really good questions, you guys came correct today. Maybe that's because we took a break. I don't really want to take breaks, but I like it when we have a bunch of questions like that.
Should we go through some sounds?
We should go through some sounds. So we're going to play through a couple of sounds on these MITCH6 guitars, and then we're going to talk about the MITCH6. We're going to talk about where it came from, how it got here, and we'll demo some sounds as we go. So I'm playing through a Quad Cortex, as I almost always am for these live streams. I did bring my Captor X in. I don't think you can see it over my shoulder.
No.
Which I've had. It was actually a gracious gift. It was a hiring gift from Joe when I first moved up to PA. I've had it that long, and it rips. I think it's a great piece of kit and sort of started mostly that load box thing that exists now, and it's still very good, especially if you load in your own IRs. And I plan on using that with some amplification in the not so far future. Marshall. But for now, it's all Quad Cortex. And by the way, I'll be running that through the amp once I get that, because the Quad Cortex is indispensable at this point.
Yeah, it's great.
And you Joseph Balaguer,
Yes.
the man, the myth, the legend, are running through.
I am playing through the baby brother or baby sister or sibling, whatever you want to call it. The
baby robot.
Yeah, the Nano Cortex. So we purchased the Nano Cortex recently from Neural DSP directly because we are going to be bringing it to Guitar Summit in Germany next month. We have a booth there, and we're excited to exhibit at the trade show.
Yes, we've expanded our booth from last year.
Yeah, and we wanted something compact. It's a completely silent show, so every booth needs to have headphones if they have any kind of amplification. So we thought the Nano Cortex would be perfect for that. And
Yes.
we're already super familiar with the Neural DSP suite of products. So,
Yes.
And they're great people. So we bought one, and that's what I'm running through. And the clean sounds you heard, I believe it is a Morgan. No, it's not. It's a high watt. Sorry. I'm thinking of the other patch that's in here. It's a high watt with just some delay and reverb.
With a lot of reverb.
Yes.
It's like a shimmer reverb.
It's a pool of ambient sound.
Deliciousness.
And then the high gain tone is a capture of a Dietzel Herbert Mark III that we had here at the shop.
Yeah.
Many moons ago.
That Joe sold.
Yes. And
as a responsible adult.
What are you using for tones?
I'm not letting you jump over this. You sold that amp, and I'm still mad at you for it.
Well, sometimes it'd be like that.
That amp
you know?
sounded so
good. It did, but now I have its soul, so that's okay.
That's true. I am actually playing a preset that I haven't played yet for the live stream, which is my favorite of the sort of modern mid-forward amp that you would say was maybe birthed from 5150 vibes.
Sure.
Maybe rectifier vibes. Is the Driftwood. I love the Driftwood stuff. I think it sounds insane. I think it looks insane. The guys are super nice. So I'm playing a capture rig that I built. We have some Driftwood captures, and this has 4 different captures that I built into a preset. It has a clean, which is the EL34 version. Mm-hmm. It has a crunch, which is also the EL34 version. It has a lead, which is the 6L6 Darkest Nightmare. And then it has a lead, which is the Purple Nightmare.
So are these Driftwood captures the ones from our buddy Chris from Amp Guru?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes. So they're Amp Guru captures. They sound amazing.
Okay.
The whole pack is so sick. He did such a great job of capturing like basically all the sounds you want, plus some that you could get weird with if you wanted to.
I liked what I was hearing earlier for sure.
We can do a quick run through of both of ours, and then we'll talk about the MITCH6 because we do have to talk about it. So I'll do mine real quick. Like I said, the clean and the crunch are both the EL34 Purple Nightmare, or the signature. That's what they call it. So the signature, and then the rhythm gain is the Darkest Nightmare 6L6,
right? And
then the lead tone is the Purple Nightmare 6L6.
Okay.
Why not? Let's do it.
Sounds sweet.
Yeah. So anyway, sorry, I almost hit the intro
So
button.
that's
there for a
all
second.
driftwood, just different captures within that pack.
Yep. It's
rad.
it's two different versions of it's the signature, the Purple Nightmare, and the Darkest Nightmare. But I picked my favorites of each.
Okay.
I liked the EL34, the signature tone for the clean and the crunch, because it's a little more British,
Sure.
a little more of that. And then the gain tone is just pure 6L6. 5150 and a rectifier had a baby and sounded even better than both of them. That's what that is. And then the lead tone is the Purple Nightmare, so a little softer than the Darkest Nightmare.
Yeah.
A little more mid forward, a little more tweaked for that. But yeah,
Nice.
super sick. Yeah, and I love this. I go back and forth between this and the JP2C for gain tones.
Yeah.
And the Bogner Uber Ultra. Those are like my top three, and they have been for a long time.
Great amps.
But you, sir,
Yeah.
tone us.
Sure.
Show us some tones, fool.
Okay.
Yeah.
I missed that second pitch.
Yeah. I gotta give it to him.
These pickups are just so like
Yeah, it's a very
responsive. It's kind of wild because they're P90s, but they're like I'm sure it's the combination of like the lower tuning, the extended scale length, the P90s. It just has like a I don't even know how to explain it, like a chewiness that you don't really hear that often with humbuckers or any other type of pickup.
Yeah.
It's cool.
It's a very different feel. The ash body with, I think that the ash body with, like you said, the scale length and the lower tuning.
Yeah.
It really just like.
And maybe the set neck contributes to it as well in some way.
Sure.
The resonance at least.
When you feel it, it's like the combination of the immediacy of the P90s, like the responsiveness and the dynamic everything, using all the buzzwords because they're all true. With the P90s, having that paired with something like ash and the set neck, which is like this balance of like open, flat frequency, very clean, clear sounding, but then you've got like that warmth and that bit of support. I don't know. It's very cool. And this is well, I mean, Mitch knew what he was doing. That's all I'm going to say.
For sure.
But yeah, we can talk a bit more about the spec. Everyone basically says the tone rips and you're all right. And this is what it sounds like. We wanted to give you guys a bit of a smattering of tones.
Yeah.
Because it is a very unique sounding guitar. But can do everything from the more traditional, like super boosted metal stuff to the stuff that Silent Planet does and everything in between.
Yeah. And it's kind of the evolution of when Mitch and when we started working with Mitch and started talking with him about what he wanted out of a guitar, we initially sent him a production growler baritone from the Select series.
Yes.
This was years ago, which was an ash body, roasted maple neck, and ebony fingerboard. It was a bolt-on. It was 27-inch scale. And it had our ferrule humbuckers, I believe. It was a hardtail. rustic black finish, and he played that for a good while until he had enough time with it to be like, I'd love to do a custom with you guys. This is kind of what I'm looking for. And there were a few iterations before this final one. But the kind of reoccurring theme with those conversations was, you know, an extended scale length, so 28.5-inch instead of 27.
Yep.
A set neck construction instead of bolt-on, because of the added warmth and just the different resonance you get from having a glued in joint versus a bolt-on. Bolt-ons tend to be a bit more immediate and snappy.
Yeah.
And then the addition of the Evertune with, you know, a lot of bands I feel like that are tuning lower and lower, but wanting like optimal tension and intonation with that tension, seem to be migrating towards the Evertune, which I think is great, especially when you're playing as low as bands like Silent Planet play, like E1 or drop E or drop F sharp, or even lower, like bands like Loathe and you know, Humanity's Last Breath and a whole bunch of other bands out there that are going lower and lower, that doing something like this where it's a set neck, it has the Evertune. The pickups were the curveball for me because I was a bit late to the party of like, there was kind of this sweeping movement of guitar players, bands, sounds, whatever you want to call it, where a lot of bands that were tuning below A or A flat or even G, F sharp, E, that whole range, were playing in a split position if they had humbuckers, to get this like more metallic, thinner, yet still fat sounding,
over like bubbly, tight.
Yeah, like there was a lot of
fancy words.
A lot of overtones going on that you wouldn't normally hear from just a direct full bore humbucker. And I think that led to people then acquiring like the 30-inch scale Squires to use like the Jazzmaster pickups, and then P90s.
The Jazzmaster pickups became a big thing too, specifically because of those guitars.
So when I was having discussions with Mitch about pickups for his signature, that's where it started. It was like, oh, I really like the sound when I split the humbuckers on the growler that I have from you guys. But I also really like the sound from like this Squire that I have that has these Jazzmaster style pickups. And it took some back and forth and R&D on my part to like find different graphs of like different pickups throughout the years that achieve what a lot of these guitar players are trying to achieve, with this very niche like tone, that makes a lot of what they play even clearer and more articulate sounding. So I definitely see the advantage of that now, and big, you know, shout out to Mitch for kind of like bringing that reality to fruition in this guitar.
Because they are based on our backwoods P90s, but they're tweaked for him and for the sound that he was looking for.
Yeah, that was definitely the foundation of what is now, it's an unnamed pickup for right now. We are going to name it eventually. I think Mitch and I just need to like come up with the final name, and you know, we'll start selling them individually outside of these guitars. But yeah, the backwoods was just a foundation. What we arrived at is definitely pretty different.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And unique to this guitar, and I think really unique in general. Not to sound pretentious or anything, but like it's very, like if you compared it from a resistance and magnetite, and like if you look at the graph of the Q curve and all those things, nerdy things about the pickup, it is not similar to like any other aftermarket humbucker size P90, and I'm pretty proud about that actual, you know, truth, because
as you should be.
It really does, in this guitar, in this tuning, in this scale length, just makes it so much more unique. And I mean, there's a reason why this run sold out so quickly.
Yeah.
Because people believe in what he does.
As they should. And
yeah.
if you don't know Silent Planet, look them up.
Yeah.
Boy, they rip.
Yeah. Start with like some of their early catalog and bring yourself up to the most recent, because
lots of gold there.
Yeah. So great songwriters, but also the riffs and the tones and like everything is just so unique and rad. But I feel like there's a little something for everyone, whether you like metal or hardcore or singer-songwriter type stuff. Like there's so much there.
I do think there's something that like, so I have the backwoods set in one of my Balagers, and I'm just used to that sound. I know that sound really well. And to be able to kick on like a crunch sound and use these pickups and hear the difference, like in just like that, what I hear is something that's like hotter and thicker in a way, like it gives, there's more support there for what's going on. It's not as like tinny in a good way as like a more vintage voiced P90 might be. Not that our backwoods are like vintage voice, but I like the backwoods because they're a slightly beefier version of what I like in a P90 pickup. This is like taking that to the next level with output and beef cake, but also it has an added clarity too.
Yeah.
It's like it's not just more output. It's not just like this fuzz monster pickup. That stuff is there, but then there's that clarity that's in there too, where especially in the neck position, those tones are just so there, like present. Everything is like right there in the front, where I feel like most P90s, when you start to ramp them up, they kind of start to like fall behind the gain of what they're making. Like the sort of signal of a P90, I think as you push it, starts to sort of compress and cave in on itself.
Yeah.
And I feel like this doesn't do that. It almost does the opposite while still being hotter and bigger, which is very cool. And kudos to Mitch's vision and to your ability to do something like that. Because I will be the first person to admit that I was like, custom humbucker size P90s that are built for modern metal, and Mitch's thing, like, I'm not sure about this, because I was also late to that game.
Yeah.
And then when I heard them on the prototype, I was like, yo, this is something special. And they feel so good to play.
Well, I think it's also like they don't sound like they're not P90 pickups. Like they have that P90 sound that you want. They're reverse wound, reverse polarity. So in the middle position, they're completely noiseless.
Yeah.
So they act like how most P90s will act if they're wound that way. The biggest, if I had to kind of like condense it down to like one of the biggest differences is if you like the backwoods P90s or you like a slightly hotter P90, traditional P90, imagine like expanding the dynamics of that pickup to excel for lower tunings and to still retain the clarity that P90s give you with a mid-gain to high-gain sound. If you don't have like the bass turned up and the mids all the way down, like if you have it dialed in as
I feel judged. If
you have it dialed in as you would with like a hotter humbucker, it does that thing. And I think really Mitch did a great job at like drilling down exactly like what he likes, what he doesn't like. And it made my life easier to like figure out how to translate that into like the pickup construction and dynamics. But yeah, I mean, it's a first for us. Like we haven't done a signature guitar with different types of pickups. Like it's always been humbuckers. I mean, granted, these are humbucker size P90s. So if you buy this guitar because you like literally everything else about it, but you love humbuckers, just take these out and throw humbuckers in. The guitar's already routed for it.
Yep. I think that's a good point, because it was definitely a conscious decision, right? Because we could have put them in the plastic covers, and they do sound slightly different in the metal covers. I would say they give it a little more clarity, but that was a conscious decision. Was like, look, this guitar is flipping sick. If you like the guitar, but you want something that's a more humbucker based sound or something else, you can just swap the pickups out.
Yeah, and that was Mitch too. That was like, I was ready to do whatever he wanted to do.
Right.
And he's like, well, why don't we do humbucker size P90 so that way if someone wants to buy my guitar but they love humbuckers, like it'll be easy swap for them. They won't need to get a new pick guard.
Yes.
And I was all for that because I think, they don't sound light years different than a typical sized P90 with a plastic cover, but it does add a slight high-end bump.
Meaning the metal covers do.
The metal covers add like a slight high-end bump, which can be translated to more clarity or like a higher treble, read. But like in this specific template, like a longer scale baritone, deeply tuned guitar, something like that just accentuates the positive aspects of what you want out of a pickup like this. So yeah, it's cool. And like, you really do get that, if you mute that for me, I'll do the high gain tone one more time.
Let her rip. And a more mid-forward tone just for fun, another high gain tone.
Yeah, I mean, they do the thing for sure.
No, they rip. Oh, yo, what's up? Mark Johnson in the chat.
Yo, what's
says
up,
these are
Mark?
such killer guitars.
Oh, thanks, dude.
Thanks, dude. Yeah, they're super sick. We'll have to. I know you've been. I see you out there dropping some Jit Boy stuff.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to.
He's got a little metal boy inside of him. He's got that Woodman BB.
Gonna have to have a chat about that. But yeah, they're great for that, and they also do the ambient stuff, which is why we wanted to open the track with that, so that you could really hear what these pickups sound like in a dense ambient mix. I've got delay and reverb and chorus on. Joe's got this huge delay and this huge reverb on.
Yeah.
But you still hear every note. It blooms in a nice way. It's not like all we did was overwind the pickup and it becomes this like mess of noise.
Which is a part of what Mitch and Silent Planet do in a lot of their songs. There's a lot of clean ambient passages in their stuff. It's not always just full bore chaos.
That's right, Mark. I forgot you played this at NAMM. Good shout.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So Building Skyscraper says Violent Planet P90s.
So like NAMM was such a blur every year.
Sick name. Yeah, it is definitely. Wait, okay, I missed the ambient part. Need to rewind. Oh yeah, it was right at the beginning. We've done a little bit here. I'll let Joe play a little bit for you because it sounds sick.
Why not?
Yeah, they're sick. And they really do. There's something cool about that I think goes, like you said, it's part of Silent Planet sound. It's part of what Mitch does.
Yeah.
There's definitely that, but there's the fact that like you know, we could give Mark one of these guitars and Mark would make it sound amazing in an ambient context because it's built for that, built for the clarity that you look for and things like that. The ash body, the pickups,
sure.
you know, it really, it lends itself to doing those things as well, which is super sick. Let's see, catching up. Yeah. Oh, Mark turned. Oh, sweet. Good shout. Ambient mentioned in Mark appears, Kai says. Yeah. Oh, that's so sick. Mark says, yeah, that's got the ambient single note clarity thing. Love that.
Nice.
Yeah, thanks, dude. It is sick. It is very sick. It's a lot of fun. Spooky says, would an 80 gauge string fit into the tuning peg?
You would have to drill out the tuning peg.
You'd have to drill it out.
Yep.
Yeah. An 80 gauge string will fit the Evertune, but you will have to make a larger hole in the tuning peg.
We just recently put an 80 gauge set. It was 16 to 80 for Mitch's guitar.
Yeah, that's what Mitch wanted.
Yeah, he got one of these out of this run, and he's playing in drop E. So
yeah,
you know,
16 to 80 in drop E.
Yeah, and yeah, I believe the tuners, like by default, they accept up to a 68.
It's either a 64 or a 68.
Yeah, it's right before you reach the 72 range where you have to start drilling out the hole a little bigger.
Yeah,
but it's possible.
That's a fair question. Yeah, and it's a mod worth making if you're going to go with heavier stuff for sure, heavier strings. I mean, but yeah, it is rad. Excuse me. Yes, all the stability. Kai says lower output P90s also let you juice the amp harder with the boost of choice.
It's true.
Yeah. A lot of humbuckers, just by the nature of what they are, especially more typical humbuckers, as you start to goose them, they compress the sound super heavily as you boost them into an amp. Having a P90 in general, but especially a lower output P90, sort of just takes away the compression aspect.
Yeah.
You just sort of get this full frequency boost thing, which is very cool. And sounds sick in a mix. I think a lot of people, one of the reasons it took so long for this to catch on, besides the fact that single coils are noisy, is that in a room, when you hear them with high gain and boosts and stuff, it can sound very over the top, like just kind of bright, kind of clear and aggressive in a way that people might not want. But I think that when people started experimenting with them more in a mix, especially as digital recording became a thing where you could really hear the sound as you would hear it in a mix rather than recorded off a cab, it sits in a mix in a really cool way, and sort of lends to that whole clarity thing that we keep talking about, which is very cool. Kai says, what's on his?
What's on his?
His strings.
Oh, so you did drop F sharp,
yes,
from what I remember, and we had to order a custom set for yours.
We did,
and I believe we landed with
special.
I believe we landed with 74 to 15.
Yep.
Don't quote me on that because it was yesterday, and my brain, I feel like, can only retain like 6 hours worth of information.
It sounds right.
I believe it's 74 to 15 because we used the string joy calculator to make sure it's like optimal for you, for your tuning. But
we always double check ourselves. We have what we like, but sometimes it's about what is more universal.
We were running low on 74s though, so we had to order some stuff. But yeah, it's something like that, 74 to 15.
Yeah. Dave says we'll use a tapered string. Yeah, you can. So the thing about tapered strings is once you get to a certain size, the taper is after the tuning peg sometimes.
Yeah.
Because if you make the taper before the tuning peg, you've only got this much room because you don't want the taper before the nut. You want the taper to be after.
Yep.
So the taper is really more for the longer strings in the middle, or if you do like a reverse headstock and have the low E further away.
Yes.
So it can be a solution. It's not always a solution. Ask anyone who plays a reverse headstock 28.5 or 30-inch Balaguer or any other guitar how frustrating it is to find strings, because there are very few brands out there that make strings that don't taper before the nut, where you end up having a taper somewhere in the first 3 frets, and it's just not cool.
String joy and Kalium are your 2 options if you are one of those people.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
And once you get to a certain point, depending on your bridge, even string joy doesn't make certain strings that are long enough.
Right.
Because like, for instance, if you want to do an Evertune, the largest string that can fit in an Evertune is an 85. And that's like literally pushing, you're scraping as you pull through.
Yeah.
But an 85 will do that. But the only brands that make an 85 that's long enough, you're almost limited to only Kalium at that point, or using bass strings.
And then you're paying a premium with Kalium, which, you know, don't get me wrong.
They're great strings.
Great strings, but, you know.
Yeah, they're not cheap.
They're not cheap, yeah.
Yeah, so that's often a wake-up call for some people. But, you know, it definitely, it's a learning opportunity rather than a negative thing. But it is fun. And the strings, that's a big part of, I think, what we have learned over the years is that balance of tension and gauges, what works with certain scale lists, what you can actually buy versus stuff that, like, you know, someone orders a new guitar, wants to get into baritone stuff, and they're like, holy shit, I have to pay $50 for strings every time I want to change my strings. Like, it kind of sucks. So you have to, you know, we try and make everyone aware of that stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's not that the strings are bad and they're worth the money because no one else does it. Like, it's a legit thing, but it is expensive, or can be expensive. Kai says, hell yeah.
Nice.
Thanks, bro. Yeah, we'll be talking very soon. Building skyscrapers. I have the backwoods and 3 guitars, both positions in 1, neck only in 2. I really want to check these out. Yeah, they are sick. And like Joe said, he and Mitch are going to work on a name, give it an official christening, and then they will become available. So
definitely before the end of the year, if not maybe before the holidays. Yeah. Because the pickups are already, you know, ready to be made.
Yo, Andrew, Ambient Endeavors out here.
Nice. What's up, dude?
Sorry, I almost
hope you're doing well.
I almost called you someone else for a second. I got Ambient on the brain now. Andrew in the house. Yeah, we got the Ambient boys. I like that. I hope you're doing well, man. We had a good hang with Mark and Andrew and everybody at NAMM, and it was such a cool. It's one of those things that makes you feel grateful to be in the business because they're good people and a good hang.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for dropping in, guys. And I think we should drop some tones on Andrew nowadays here.
All right.
Real quick. I tell you what, I'm learning a lesson. Oh, Shane, what's up? I didn't know that was you, dude. Sick.
Yeah, Shane Worley.
Yeah, I didn't realize that's who it was. Yeah. Thanks for dropping in. Thanks for making yourself
come hang out sometime, man.
Yeah,
haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, I think while the Ambient boys are in the house, I have a confession, which is that I'm learning a lesson today, which is that with super ambient tones, you have to wait like 10 seconds after you're done playing for that reverb tail to like really die off. Otherwise, I jump the gun, and then I'm sure everyone hears every time I hit the button. But yeah, it sounds sick. And seriously, guys, thanks for dropping in. It's good to hear from you guys. Yeah, I appreciate you laughing at me because it is definitely an experience. I used to watch that pedal. I mean, I still watch that pedal show all the time. But I used to watch it when they were smaller. It was a joke, right? That like every time they'd play something, Dan would start talking before the reverb tails had died. And it was like a running joke. And I was like, there's no way it's that hard. Like, what are you doing? Just stop talking for 5 seconds.
Especially when the reverb
you can hear it.
Tail is like literally 8 seconds
long. I know. It's so good, though. It's like,
is.
It
I
really
just want to swim in that ambience.
It's so nice. Well, now that we've been a hot minute, would love to come hang sometime. Yeah, always welcome, dude. Yeah. MITCH6. So that's been the topic of conversation today. That's these guitars. They rule. If you don't know, or if you missed the beginning, Mitch Stark, guitarist of Silent Planet. These are his new signatures. We announced them earlier this year. They are complete. If you ordered one, they will be shipping very soon. And by very soon, I mean like we're going to start shipping them next week.
Next week, yep.
So you can hold me to that. Yeah. And this stuff will be moving out. And they're sick. Really sick. Oh, one thing we didn't talk about, the figure top.
Makote.
So it's a Makote veneer over the ash body. And
ebony fingerboard.
Ebony fingerboard, mother of pearl block inlays.
Fancy.
So it's definitely primo. And yeah, it's such a nice guitar to play. Credit to the Espada as always, but Mitch really doing like the keeping the forearm contour, even if it's not the spoon cut, so it's still super comfy on your arm. It's almost like a hybrid Growler Espada thing. Super cool. Looks also amazing.
First time we've ever done that on a production run.
First time we have ever done the Espada without the spoon carve on a production run, because that's how much we like Mitch.
Besides the ambient stuff.
Besides the ambient stuff, yeah. Other than flat tops, we should say.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's super rad. And we'll finish these up, and they'll be shipping early next week. So if you have one on order, check it out. If you don't and you want one, we may have one or two coming available because we always keep a couple aside for B-stock coverage. For instance, one did arrive busted in transit just because that's how logistics go and people are rough with stuff. And there's a special place in hell for those people. Anyway, that one got dinged, but because we put some aside, that means all the orders get filled. It doesn't matter. But what that means is we will probably have one or two that become available in the coming weeks. I know we've had a couple of people reach out who missed the pre-order, who are on a sort of wait list. So if you want one, let us know. We'll do our best. No guarantees. But that's for the Mitch. Super stoked these guitars are out. And yeah, we hope that you love them as much as we love them because they really are sick.
Cool.
The Devin Scheidegger Diablo DS7 still out there for pre-order. Super legit specs. Check it out.
Check it out on the website.
Other pre-orders, the Growler Standard Series, the Standard Series Growler Baritone, Standard Series Espada, Antique Burst. Both of those are arriving in the next week as well. The Seraph Evertune satin space gray with Seymour Duncan Nazgul and sentient rails pickups and an Evertune bridge, super sick. Those are coming in the next week as well. And then finally the Diablo 7 baritones. Those will also be in the next week. So all that stuff. Every one of those, except for the Growler baritone, has at least one or two available. If you want them, get them. There aren't a lot left, and we're going to be doing stuff with them as soon as they land. So, with all that being said, now that we've had fun, and John dropped in too. Yeah, we have everyone in the freaking chat.
Who is it? Oh, nice. Yeah. What's up, dude?
We have everyone in the chat.
We got an ambient play out.
Okay, well we're gonna ambient riff our way out of this because now I feel like we're obligated to. In the
Our poor excuse of
the best possible
ambient music.
Yeah, these dudes are probably like texting each other on the side, like, can't even stop talking over the reverb. But
thanks for tuning in, everyone.
Yeah, thanks for hanging. It's good to be back. We're stoked to be doing the live stream again. We will see you guys again in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And yeah, back at it. So we're gonna riff a little bit, and we're gonna head out. Thanks for hanging out with us on this lovely Friday.
Have a good weekend.
Hope everyone has a killer weekend. As always, like, comment, subscribe, and follow us on the social medias and our YouTube. Subscribe, all the things. Anyway, happy weekend time.
Adios.
Later.